Porter, going back to Saturday, that's just the type of gritty effort you need to win on the road, right?
Yeah, it's exactly what it was. It was gritty. We've had other games like that where we've just, Michigan, we were up, then we were down, fought back, and we were up, and then they went up 6, and to fight back in that atmosphere, down 6. Those are the kind of things you got to do. And I thought there was contributions from everybody, and I thought we played better winning basketball. It was the one stretch where we got in trouble was turnovers. And I will say this, they were turnovers out of aggression. They were all in like transition, getting back tapped and all that. They have elite athleticism. But for us, I think our guys were confident with how hard they played, how tough they played, and how together they played.
Porter, I think Sooner fans are still trying to catch up to the SEC. You get a win on the road against anybody in the SEC, it's a great thing, right? Even if your team doesn't score for 2 minutes or whatever.
No, that is funny because I stay away from articles at this time of year, but I saw an article about just railing us about like some of the things. I'm like, man, do they have any idea what you had to go through in that game? And how loud it was, the atmosphere it was for our guys to stay together. I mean, you're not going to have 40 minutes all downhill sailing. There's going to be ups and downs, and that's why I kind of laughed at this. Someone sent me the article, and it was just like, I was just laughing because it's going to be some ups and downs. You're not going to play 40 minutes of beautiful basketball. It was gritty. It was tough. I mean, they're very good. It's not like you're playing anybody in this league. So it's a quad 1 win. It's a quad 1 road win. It's a win where the guys knew we have to log some of these. We have to put some of these in the bank. And our guys were really, really confident with their effort.
Well, you talked about the resilience of this team at times this season, but to go the final 24 minutes without making a jumper and still be able to win on the road like that, what's it say about just?
There's a million ways to win these games. Found ways to win games. I mean, Mo had an amazing loose ball that we scrambled, flipped it up. Next thing you know, Fears goes to him for a layup. Fears keeps one alive. We've talked about him like just watching it, and if someone else makes the hustle play 2 games ago to start the second half, he got it, threw it off the guys, and next thing you know, Glenn had it and laid up. We found a lot of ways to win. Duke Miles, that last play, getting that rebound, kicking it out to Jalen, and having the wherewithal before they fouled him to get it out ahead. A lot of ways to win games, and that's what we didn't even talk about that we didn't hit a jumper the last whatever it was. We just talked about making plays, rebounding, those kind of things that you need to make the culture stuff in an atmosphere like that.
Where Glenn came in, had some big rebounds, big shots. Just his minutes have obviously been inconsistent. But what have you seen from him continuing to carve out the role for himself?
We really were on him about being great at your role, man. You got to be a better defender. You got the body of SEC guys. You got to be a physical, better defender, and and then rebound. And he got 6 rebounds. And I tell him all the time, man, when your feet are set, that's your best 3. When you stay into it, and you can see him down ready. He hit 2 threes. His feet were set. He missed his first 2, and we were just like good shots. It was very similar to Rivaldo Soares last year. When his feet are set, instead of taking him off the move or off the dribble, when Glenn's feet are set, he could really a good shooter. But I loved that he got himself going by just having a mindset of he was going to be great at defense and rebound. He got 6 rebounds, and those were huge. And we absolutely need that against A&M.
Coach, you mentioned the last time you guys played A&M that you met your wife in College Station. In addition to that, how would you just describe your time at Texas A&M?
Yeah, I met my wife at A&M. She went to A&M. That was my first paid coaching job. If you call it paid, it was restricted earnings coach. But fond memories of there. I spent 7 years there and met a lot of friends that are actually been reached out. We're going to, they're coming to the game. So great memories there in College Station where I got my start. But I met my wife most importantly. Those are great things to think about. My mind's been on the Texas A&M basketball team, and and the last game we played, and things we're going to do this game.
I mean, even so, your mind being on the basketball game, any places you guys going to check out as a team, places that are fond to you?
No, I mean, yeah, my wife and I, we met at the Tap. There's a bar in College Station called the Tap. It's still there. So we had I don't know, 10 years ago, we had an anniversary. We went back to a football game. We went back there. There's a burger place that used to be an old feed store. It was called Copy Bridge. It literally had two things on the menu: chicken sandwich and a burger, and cold bottled beer. And now that it's all developed out there, and now they got a big menu, but it was the best burger. It had two things: one or the other, and a long neck. Those what you ordered when you went to Copy Bridge. I loved that place. I loved Wings and More. I mean, Mark Denard, the old Miami Dolphins guy, owned Wings and More. I know that's still there. We had my route of restaurants that I loved there. But yeah, my wife worked at the Tap, and I lived right across the street, and that's where I met. Real romantic story, but it was. Hey, 30-some plus years. I mean, we didn't have what is it, Match.com or whatever the hell it's called. Met the old-fashioned way.
What are you looking to see from Jeremiah the second time around?
Physicality, Buzz's teams, and we saw it firsthand. I mean, his culture of how physical they played, they forced us into 18 turnovers, and we had 30 points off turnovers. I mean, that was the whole thing. They really were physical with you, and they do just a really good job at it. They rotate, they scramble, they play so hard. And then they rebound. They get a lot more shot attempts than you because they're creating it themselves on the offensive glass, and they're turning you over. And that's less shots you can get on rim, and then they add shots on the rim by going to get it. It's their culture, and they're elite at it, and he coaches the crap out of that. And Buzz is one of the best in our business at coaching that culture. And you can't, I mean, to think that if you would have told me before the game, you're going to have 30 points on turnovers, I would have said we would lose 15. We did a lot of good things. We had 21 assists, but we've got to take care of the ball. We've got to rebound, and we've got to rebound against them. And but the physicality for Jeremiah, he's been, you just watching him, that was the second game, and then just seeing these last 5 or 6 halves, he's getting back to where he was. It kind of started out the season, then he got through non-conference, got through the Bahamas, got through Michigan. You can see him for whatever reason. He's young, the conference, but now I look at him. He's a lot more physical and confident with the ball, and he gives us a higher ceiling for sure.
The matchups with them, I know everybody would just look at the big guys, but your guards have to be so strong in this game, don't they, for you to come away with the win down there?
Yeah, their guards are grown men. Manny and Zier Phillips and Wade Taylor's been in a million games and one of their all-time leading scorers there. So yeah, they're as physical of grown men, and then they play that way. Sometimes you hear me talking. One of the strengths I see is Jalen Moore gets his athleticism into the game. Well, they look physical, and they get the physicality in the game. I remember a saying that I never heard this when I was up north in Chicago living there, but I've heard it when I was south. Big hat, no cattle. Big hat, no cattle might be a guy who looks like a man. He plays not strong. They look strong and they play strong, and that's a credit to them. They get their strength into the game.
How's Dayton doing? I know he took that shot to the face and came back briefly, but didn't play the second half.
I mean, it's like it never happened with him. I'm like, how are you? Fine. Okay. Just asking. It's like it never happened. It's a swelling. He's gone down, a little black and blue. He looks like Dayton, like he's been in a fight. I love it.
Thank you.
All right.